Imagine one of Europe's most vibrant cities, a place that never truly sleeps, suddenly falling into complete and total silence. Barcelona, a metropolis of over 1.5 million residents and tens of millions of annual visitors, goes dark. Not from disaster, not from catastrophe, but from a hypothetical scenario that forces us to ask a profound question. What happens when a city simply stops? Now, this is a fictional and hypothetical exploration, a cinematic thought experiment designed to make us reflect on the relationship between human presence and the urban spaces we inhabit. Every image, every scene, every moment you're about to witness represents an imagined reality, not an actual event. With that understanding, let us step into a version of Barcelona that exists only in imagination and perhaps in the quiet corners of our collective curiosity. The first thing you notice is the absence of sound. Las Ramblas, that iconic, tree-lined boulevard stretching from Plaça de Catalunya down to the sea, normally pulses with the energy of street performers, tourists consulting maps, vendors selling flowers and newspapers, and the constant hum of thousands of conversations happening simultaneously. In this hypothetical version, the wide pedestrian walkway is completely empty. A drone camera glides slowly above the central promenade, capturing the perfectly symmetrical rows of plane trees casting long morning shadows across the pale stone pavement. No footsteps, no laughter, no music drifting from open cafe doors. The flower stalls stand shuttered, their metal shutters pulled down and locked, the faint outline of painted murals visible beneath years of accumulated city life. A single pigeon lands in the exact center of the boulevard, looks around as if confused by the absence of crumbs, and then takes flight again. The camera follows it upward, revealing the full panoramic emptiness of a street that was built for people and now belongs entirely to the wind. Moving northeast through the Eye-Sample district, the towering spires of the Sagrada Familia rise against a pale grey sky. Antoni Gaudi's unfinished masterpiece, a structure that has been under continuous construction for over 140 years, now stands surrounded by streets so quiet that you can almost hear the stone itself breathing. The construction cranes are still. The scaffolding wraps portions of the facade like a frozen embrace. Normally, the surrounding blocks are thick with tour groups, audio guide headsets, selfie sticks, and the organized chaos of cultural tourism at its most concentrated. In this imagined month, the plaza surrounding the basilica is completely deserted. A wide-angle lens captures the full facade in extraordinary detail, the naturalistic stone carvings, the cascading towers, the interplay of light and shadow across surfaces that took decades of human hands to shape. A gentle breeze moves through the empty streets. Leaves skitter across the pavement. The traffic lights at the nearby intersection cycle through their sequence, green to amber to red, with no vehicles to obey them, a small mechanical ritual performed for an audience of zero. Few streets in the world carry the architectural weight of Passeig de Gràcia. This grand boulevard, lined with modernist masterpieces including Casa Batlló and Casa Milà, is normally a slow procession of admirers, photographers, and luxury shoppers moving between the ornate lampposts and hexagonal paving tiles. In this hypothetical scenario, the avenue stretches in both directions without a single moving vehicle or pedestrian. The camera moves at ground level, gliding along the famous mosaic sidewalk designed by Gaudí himself, each tile a small work of art now observed without interruption. The facades of the great modernist buildings catch the cool morning light in ways that are rarely visible when crowds fill the foreground. Casa Batlló's dragon-scale roof shimmers with iridescent blues and greens. The wrought iron balconies of Casa Milà Those organic forms that seem to grow from the building, like living tissue, cast intricate shadows across the empty pavement below. A cat emerges from a doorway, crosses the entire width of the boulevard without pausing, and disappears into a narrow side street. The city, for this one imagined month, belongs to the animals and the architecture. The Barri Gòtic, Barcelona's Gothic quarter, is a labyrinth of medieval streets so narrow that neighbors on opposite sides of the lane could theoretically shake hands from their balconies. Normally, these passages are thick with movement, tourists navigating cobblestones, locals rushing to work, restaurant hosts calling out to passers-by. In this imagined stillness, the quarter takes on a different character entirely. The ancient stone walls, some dating back to Roman foundations, seem to absorb the silence and reflect it back amplified. Aerial footage from above reveals the irregular geometry of rooftops, terracotta tiles and satellite dishes, and potted plants arranged in patterns only visible from height. At street level, the camera moves slowly through Plaza Real, the grand neoclassical square with its central fountain and palm trees, finding it completely empty. The fountain continues to run, water falling in arcs that catch the diffuse light of an overcast afternoon. The wrought iron lampposts, also designed by Gaudí in his early career, stand like silent sentinels over a space that normally hosts outdoor dining, street musicians, and the organized disorder of a city square in full use. At the edge of the city, where the urban grid meets the Mediterranean Sea, the beach of Barceloneta stretches in an unbroken line of pale sand. This is one of the most visited urban beaches in all of Europe, a place where on a summer weekend, the density of sunbathers can make it difficult to find a clear path to the water. In this hypothetical month, the beach is completely empty. The drone camera rises above the shoreline, revealing the full curve of the bay, the breakwater, the distant silhouette of the Watts Hotel rising at the end of the beach like a sail frozen mid-voyage. The sand is undisturbed, smooth except where the tide has left its delicate tracery of foam and shell. Waves arrive and retreat in their ancient rhythm, indifferent to the absence of human witnesses. Seagulls gather in large numbers near the waterline, moving in loose formations, reclaiming a space that is normally too crowded and noisy for their comfort. The chiringuitos, those beloved beachside bars and restaurants, stand closed, their plastic chairs stacked and chained, their awnings rolled up tight. Beneath the streets, the metro system sits in complete stillness. The trains that normally carry hundreds of thousands of passengers every single day rest in their stations, doors closed, platforms empty. The escalators have been switched off. The departure boards still display information, but the information no longer changes. Above ground, the city's bus network has also come to a halt. Articulated buses sit parked in long rows at their depots, their destination signs still illuminated with routes that will not be traveled today. At the main train stations, Sants and Passeig de Gràcia, the grand departure halls are silent. The large digital timetable boards, those familiar cascades of updating information that normally create a constant visual rhythm, display nothing but static text. The airport, several kilometers to the southwest, sits equally quiet, its terminals empty, its runways clear, the sky above it free of the usual approach paths traced by arriving aircraft. As the imagined month draws toward its close, as the light shifts from the cool blues of early morning through the warm amber of late afternoon, and finally into the deep indigo of a city night lit only by street lamps and the moon, something becomes clear. Barcelona without its people is still beautiful. The architecture endures. The sea continues its conversation with the shore. The birds find their rhythms. The stone remembers every hand that shaped it. But the city is also unmistakably incomplete. A city is not its buildings or its streets or its infrastructure. A city is the sum of its human moments, the conversations, the meals, the arguments, the celebrations, the daily, unremarkable acts of people living in proximity to one another. This hypothetical silence is not a vision of peace, it is a reminder. Every crowded street, every noisy plaza, every traffic jam and tourist queue is evidence of something extraordinary, a place where human life has chosen to concentrate itself, to build, to gather, and to continue. Barcelona waits, patient and still, for the sound of footsteps to return.